Hi guys, Matt Thomas here at Cedar Rock Studio Guitar Gallery in Indiana, and today we've got a really special guitar for you. This is actually a 2019 Bill Tippin Forte. Now, looks kind of like an OM with a slightly larger bottom bout here. And it sounds a little larger than OM too. But this one features a really high grade, Mastergrade to be specific, Swiss Moon spruce top on it, which looks like someone's taken this outside and played it some too, because it's got a little bit of, UV striping. It's darkened itself, which I love to see that in moon spruces. It provides a beautiful contrast on the top. But enough about that top. When you turn this thing around, you might just end up getting lost in this absolutely perfect Mastergrade Brazilian. This is so tight and squiggly throughout this center section here. And he went ahead and did an abalone purfling strip all the way down the center seam here. Now it's bound all the way around with African Blackwood with a real thin maple purfling that ends up looking like gold rope when it's got that little bit of figuring throughout it. So it almost looks like it's got the twists. Now, in addition to African Blackwood binding, it also has this gorgeous hand-sculpted African Blackwood bridge here, which I'll note that it is actually a little wider. It's 2.30 on the dot, so it's almost 2 5/16, but not quite. But it's very fingerstyle friendly as a result of that. Now, the whole face actually has a figured koa purfling around it, and also a figured koa rosette here that also has abalone on either side of that koa. Now, it's got an ebony fretboard with that thin maple purfling right underneath of the board itself, so it acts as a purfling all the way up into the top here, which it really shimmers against this moon spruce. And some mother of pearl dots all the way up to the 15th fret here. Now there's nothing on the face of the majority of the fretboard until you get up here at the nut, and he did this kind of triangle from the nut in towards the first fret here. That's got that figured koa with some mother of pearl wrapping around to the point there. Now as we get into the headstock, he went ahead and chose a really figured Brazilian rosewood for the head cap here. And also these gold waverlies really go quite nicely with this Brazilian rosewood. But when you flip it over, there's something a little different here. One could say it's Brazilian, but to me, it looks like a really high grade cut of Wingay. It's very, very fibrous, very dark, and the grain on it just looks a lot like Wingay to my eye. But I'm not certain. That's what we're just going with. Now the neck is actually a really even C, and it's 1.75 here at the nut width. All the way up, it has very little taper to the neck, which is very friendly for your chord shapes. But what's really interesting is this heel that he has come up with. It's really intently carved throughout the sides, but it's got a really flat swoop right here in the crest of the neck. Now, one last thing I want to note is this is the second time I've seen this Soundport. But how cool is this little kind of check mark swoop here? Maybe it's an F for Forte? Who knows? Bill knows. I'm just speculating. But either way, it allows you to hear how wonderful this guitar sounds. And it is deep and dark and massive. It's really interesting how immediate the tone is on each of these strings. I mean, you barely have to play them, and there's just big fat tone. And those trebles, actually, you can feel them hitting your chest when you play them on the guitar. Even throughout the mid-range too. But of course, with this high grade of a Swiss Moon top with the Brazilian in this enlarged lower bout here, that low end is very embracing. It's quite an enjoyable guitar to play. Now, if you've got any other further questions about this 2019 Tippin Forte, message Alan at cedarrockstudio.com, and thanks for listening.